Angel Reese. We good? Here's what Angel Reese had to say when she sat down.
I've never been a part of a game like that, but of course, two heavy hitters, we gonna battle. We're not scared of them. They're not scared of us. We came in and know what we had. They came in and know what they had, and it turned up and went ways that we didn't want it to go, but I'm proud of this team. We fought with 5, maybe 6 healthy players, if that. Just know we're not scared, and we're at a place right now that I'm proud of, and I'm happy to where we are right now.
One more from Angel Reese yesterday as she was speaking after the loss to South Carolina.
We're not going to make that an excuse. We're not scared of South Carolina, and I'm going to repeat that. We're not scared of South Carolina. And a lot of people are scared of them, and we came in and battled to the end. And, of course, we came up short, but we'll see them again, or whoever will see them again. But I'm just happy, and I'm going to acknowledge my teammates first because Janae, Aaliyah, they came off the bench and did big things for us. Michaela, she was frustrated because she had to do minimum numbers in minimum time, but she came out there and did what she did, and she defended and she played as hard as she could. So being able to be proud of this team, I'm not going to give them all the credit because I know how hard we played. We played hard. We played tough. We did whatever it took to win, and sadly we came up short, but I'm happy where we are right now, and anybody seeing us moving forward should be scared.
I said last week that Angel Reese has a possibility, an opportunity of joining the ranks of, the untouchables within LSU sports, within the history of sports and the athletic department, right? Cannon, O'Neal, Burrow, people that live on a different stratosphere. If Angel Reese is able to lead this LSU team into a Final Four run and a possible national championship run, this will be the press conference that I believe you will landmark and look back to, on which she really took over the locker room and the program and put it on the back of the SEC Player of the Year and gets them on the run. I feel the exact same way that Reese did before seeing that press conference. I watched it late last night. Little Jay and I were talking about where LSU was after that game, and I had to be, I got to be honest, watching that game, you had to feel really good if you were LSU, knowing that you had a less than 70% in what it looked like for Michaela Williams. She definitely looked like she was nursing something. She was not at full strength. And you do not have your point guard, or at least the depth of your point guard, in Lastiera Poa, and you're going up against a South Carolina team who's the number 1 team in the country. They're the big bad wolf. They're the ones that are undefeated. They're the ones that are supposed to win. They do win, and credit to them. 8 out of 10 SEC tournament titles for Dawn Staley and the Gamecock program is beyond dynasty. That is dominance at another level, and much respect to them. But I love in competition when people don't like each other. It's today. It's what we kind of talked about last week of today's athlete, right? Where, everybody's just so, yeah, I guess, I don't care. Maybe I'll play. I don't feel like playing today. I'm not going to practice. I don't want to compete. To turning up into some real intense competition. And I don't encourage fighting. I don't encourage rolling on the ground. I think that it's a bad look. And Kim Mulkey said it yesterday in her press conference that, look, that was ugly. You don't want that. Dawn Staley recognized that as well, that's not what you want to be portrayed in the sport. But as far as some intense competition, that is what it feels, looks, and is. Those are 2 teams that cannot stand one another, that are going at each other, throwing every punch they got in the bag. And at the end of it, there's 1 team standing. Now, they've played 4 times since Mulkey has gotten LSU, and South Carolina's won all of them. And all of them have been pretty intense. The 2 this year have been as close as any games out of the history of the matchup. But you don't want what yesterday looked like, but you're butting into a real rivalry and real competitive hate towards one another? Does it mean it carries over off the floor and you go after one another? No, it doesn't. But when you play in between the lines and you got two really good teams giving everything they got at one another, sometimes the competitive spirit boils over a little bit. But in competition, this is what we love. This is what I love. I'm okay with hating somebody in competition. It's okay not to help somebody up every time they fall. It's okay not to laugh and joke with somebody while they're shooting free throws each and every time they're going back and forth. I mean, LeBron is somebody who I blame a lot of this on, that has made competition, like where you laugh and everybody's kissing and hugging after the game and you're helping everybody up when they fall down. Where, look, I'm for good sportsmanship as well. I mean, I don't want it to come across where you're some rebel without a cause, but it's competition. You're supposed to not like each other. You're supposed to want to go at one another. And sometimes if you play one another enough, it might boil over for 2 or 3 minutes. And that's what happened. But if you're LSU, and I'm not into moral victories at all, especially if you're the defending national champion, you're ranked within the top 9, top 10 in the country. There's no such thing as moral victories. But if you go in there against a fully stacked number 1 South Carolina team and you're down essentially 2 players and you take them to the final round, you really got to feel good about where you are heading into this part of the schedule. I mean, this is ultimately where you want to be playing at your best. And from a confidence standpoint, hearing Angel Reese, the team's best player, say what she did in that press conference, where, I mean, listen to what she's saying. Stewie, play that last bite one more time of Reese. I mean, listen to the confidence. We're not going to make that an
excuse. We're not scared of South Carolina, and I'm going to repeat that. We're not scared of South Carolina. And a lot of people are scared of them, and we came in and battled to the end. And, of course, we came up short, but we'll see them again. Or whoever will see them again. But I'm just happy, and I'm going to acknowledge my teammates first, because Janae, Aaliyah, they came off the bench and did big things for us. Michaela, she was frustrated because she had to do minimum numbers in minimum time, but she came out there and did what she did, and she defended and she played as hard as she could. So being able to be proud of this team, I'm not going to give them all the credit because I know how hard we played. We played hard, we played tough, we did whatever it took to win, and sadly we came up short, but I'm happy where we are right now, and anybody seeing us moving forward should be scared.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That a girl. I mean, like, I'm all in. And she's not saying anything that you wouldn't want your team to be believing at this part of the schedule. I mean, that is, to me, that's leadership. To me, if I'm Aaliyah Del Rosario and I see that, if I'm Janae Kent and I see that before I get on the plane last night or when I get off the plane going into this week, I feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof, knowing that our best player, the leader on the team, the best player in the conference, after going 4 quarters with Cardoza, not backing down, pushing her around. I mean, at the end of the day, Cardoza's not that good of a basketball player. She's intimidating as hell defensively. She's big, strong. She's a rebounding presence. But, I mean, she touches the ball within 3 feet. She misses more than she makes. And when she's got somebody like Reese who is not back, I mean, in the first quarter, those two were in each other's ear. That was Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan type stuff. I mean, like, that was jawing, letting them one another know, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here all day. And Cardoza, you can tell her play is like to laugh and smile, but you could see she's uncomfortable. She catches the ball within 3 feet. She airballed a layup. I mean, again, no moral victories. LSU loses in a championship game. But if you tell me you're going in not full strength and South Carolina's fully stacked, and in the fourth quarter, nearly in the entire teams are going to get thrown out of the game for brawling, and you're leaving with a ton of confidence in a loss heading into March, let's play. This is competition. Don't be scared of it. Everybody talking, look at it, they're yelling at one another. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's competing. Both teams want to win. Both teams are going at each other. Sometimes it gets a little dirty. But, I credit Dawn Staley for the way that she handled the post game and her statement and her and Flaugier, getting together. But, and I know that Mulkey's getting some pushback. I got no problem with what Mulkey said. That's competition. That's what competitive juices create. And LSU's in the thick of it. I love it. Here's Mulkey yesterday following the loss. We good? Kim Mulkey, after the game, was talking about the back and forth between South Carolina and LSU as she had a front row seat to it.
Did exactly what I thought they would do. I got some champions out there. Guys, you got a kid with a gimpy ankle. You got two starters, basically. Michaela got some minutes. She got cleared to get a few minutes. We're in a good spot. Angel is right. We're playing some pretty good basketball right now, and that's just the God's truth. They got a lot of depth. One kid basically hurt us today, and that was Fulwally. You look at the stats. How can you not leave here and go, God, I wish that the playoffs started next week? But we'll have everybody back. Everybody's good to go. So the NCAA, you don't need to call me and ask if Michaela Williams is good. You don't need to ask me if Angel Reese is good. You don't need to ask me about Poa. She's only in concussion protocol. We are playing our best basketball. Congratulations to South Carolina. They made plays when we would cut the lead. Turnovers killed us today. Turnovers, and it was very, very physical.
Corey?
Kim, forgive me, I have to ask, just what was your vantage point of kind of what shook out there in the last couple of minutes of the game?
Well, let me say this. Do you realize there was only one foul called on each team with 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter? Are you kidding me? That might have created some of that. Not the way we play. We're going to foul your ass. Not the way they play. They're going to foul your ass. But you only blew that whistle one time? Think about that now. Flaugier, what I saw, intentionally fouled Fulwally because she stripped her. Great move, because she's going to get a layup right there. And then some jawing went on with her and another player, and then the next thing I know, Cardoza just waylaid her. And so I ran because somebody came out of the stands. I think it was Flaugier's brother trying to keep him, from doing anything crazy. But that was all I know. I can't tell you from my bench how many left the court. Obviously, they saw it on film and said everybody had to go. And then I think one player for South Carolina didn't leave the bench. But my question is, I don't really know the rules. Why weren't the coaches tossed if they left the bench? Wouldn't that be a hell of an ending? But I guess it's just the players that leave the bench area. I don't know. It's ugly. It's not good. No one wants to be a part of that. No one wants to see that ugliness. But I can tell you this. I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese. Don't push a kid. You 6'8", don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let those two girls that were jawing, let them go at it.
Reed?
That is going to be the comment, and is the comment that is creating waves nationally. And look, I don't believe that she is promoting fighting by any means. I think that she is making a comment watching a 6'7" athlete charge a 5'6", 7" athlete.
I wouldn't even say 5'7".
I mean,
and
even Flauger's brother, when he jumped the podium and jumped the table, when he got up on Cardozo, you could tell he was like, "Whoa,
damn!
I don't know what I'm gonna do." I mean, like, oh, I don't know what am I gonna do here? So I'm not making light of it. I'm not making, by no means am I promoting any fighting. I am saying that this is competition, and it's okay in competition not to like one another. And at the end of the day, I think you just have two teams that genuinely don't have a lot of like for one another. And both teams recognize that it boiled over. Both teams recognize that you can't take it there, but you can hear and sense in both sides that they're looking forward to playing again and meeting up again, especially from like Angel Reese's standpoint and what she said. So I think if you're LSU, you're sitting in a really good spot heading into this part of the tournament. I mean, knowing everything you know about this team, no Samaya Smith, no Kateri Poole, going into this part of the schedule, understanding you got to be at full strength and that your limited depth is, if it's going to hamper you, this would be the part of the schedule where it would. And it seems like they're leaning into that and, playing their best at the right time. College basketball is a long season. It's a hell of a roller coaster ride. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. But, I mean, when you pull to this part of the track, when you get to March, the goal is that you're playing your best, that your team is as healthy as it can be going into this stretch. I feel LSU is. I thought that there was some takeaways yesterday from LSU's team that you needed to see. First and foremost, I thought Haley Van Lith played one of her best games because she had to. Right? There was no Lastier Poa. She had to play extended minutes. And, I thought that she played pretty good. I mean, now, to me, South Carolina, the strength of their team, I know they're big with Cardoza, and they have the other big girl, Kitts, who's a really good player. But, I mean, the problems that they present come from the guard spot. Raven Johnson and then Fulwally yesterday she was the difference in the game. I mean, her 17 minutes accounted for 24 points. If LSU would have an answer to Fulwally, I mean, the game's a little different. But I thought Van Lith played as good as she could. She played 40 minutes yesterday. 14 points. And she had 3 turnovers, and the 17 turnovers to me were the killer. I mean, that was the backbreaker for LSU. But, I mean, I thought that Van Lith's minutes were positive. I thought Janae Kent gave you real positive minutes throughout the tournament and could have developed a role player heading into this part of the schedule. 13 minutes yesterday for Kent. And then Del Rosario is continuing to improve. I why did she get thrown out of the game? She didn't come off the bench. I mean, there's clear video that describes and shows Del Rosario, and I think towards the end of the game, having her as an option may have been a bit of a difference maker, because she is a difference maker. She's taken enormous strides since that first South Carolina game where she played that was really kind of her coming out party, and you saw her start to take the next steps. And, I thought yesterday was more of it. You got to imagine that Michaela Williams is going to get healthy. She's not going to play, in 23 minutes yesterday, you could sense it. You could see it. For as much basketball as we've watched her play this year, she was not feeling it yesterday. She just wasn't, she wasn't on it. So, that's not going to be I just think if you're LSU, the big takeaway from yesterday is that there's some good vibes around this team at this part of the year. I just think this is where you want to be going into this part of the year. And I think LSU's playing as good as they can be heading into March.